Right. And in
And
some cases,
if when you talk about having oral sex, and Jane says, no, that's not my delight. It is
you know,
yours.
I didn't want to categorize it tonight. I just didn't want to go into any specific sexual activity.
But no,
Right? Oral sex seems to be the most common one. And
But
the
no,
way people look at oral sex today, the way people look at oral sex today, just a second.
There are people who indulge in anal sex, even in
Well, let's leave it. I wanted to just say, people have all kinds of things, and some of them will be even unusual. So I wanted to stay away from any specific sexual activity, because how people look at oral sex today is not the same way people look at it 20 or 30 years ago.
George, let us deal with something. Let's deal with something less dramatic. Some people will not have sex in the. Say again.
Listen, John. Yeah. I want to say this. People believe they can get fulfilled in different types of ways. Mm-hmm. Some of those ways which will sound disgusting to us, and some of those things that we could never see the logic or understanding in it. Mm-hmm. Because of so much information out there now, the media is open up, and people is exposed to all kinds of information and sexual activities. Yeah. So I wanted to stay away from really zeroing on any particular sexual activity. I wanted to say general satisfaction. And that could mean it could even mean positions and all kinds of things, So I would have liked to stay away from specifics.
But you can't do that, George, because there are some people who will see one okay and the other. Let me deal with something less dramatic. Do you know they've got some people who will not have sex in the nude? They must have something on. You know they have some people who will not have sex if there's a light in the room.
Of course.
There's a number of things. You know there's some people who and having sex, they would love something like bondage love. They must be tied. Do you know there are some people who will have sex? Of
course. And that's what I'm saying.
The masochist, you've got to beat them.
Yes. Beat them. So, I understand that.
Why would you got to go and seek it somewhere else because your partner doesn't like it?
John.
Go ahead.
I agree with you. And there's so much different sexual activities people would like to get into. And that's why I really wanted to stay away from any one particular thing, because I'm not just thinking that. But
it is too broad. It is too broad.
Right, it's a broad and wide. Right, it's right. So it's a broad and wide subject. I just wanted to really zero in on one particular type of activities, and we are talking to so many different individuals out there who will see this and who have all different types of fantasy themselves. Some of them so unusual and so we can't even understand, but they seems very logic to them, and we can't even understand the logic in it. And I'm saying to you, I as a human being, if you want to have sex, I think you want to have fulfillment from that sex.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're not getting that fulfillment every time you have sex, you're not getting that fulfillment, you will never feel satisfied. You will never feel. Let me tell you something, John. You get up in the morning or go to bed in the night and make love before you go to bed or wake up in the morning. Mm-hmm. And you have it, in a way that you will want on your part. Do you know the kind of way that kicked into you? Do you know that contribute to the kind of day you will have? The way you deal with people and all of that? You get up in the morning or in the night, you didn't have, your partner didn't feel to do it for some strange reason. You come home too late, so then your partner didn't want you to touch them.
But you should have been earlier.
Or something,
You should have been earlier. What you coming late for? What you gonna
right.
pay for? And then expect the partner to do what?
Right. You have the urge. You go to work in the day, and I could tell you that have an effect on you. It will definitely have an effect on your day.
But it's your fault, not the partner's fault. You should have been up earlier if you know you had a task to perform. You expect to lay down and sleep till 5 o'clock. You got to get to work at 6, 10 miles away. Rush your partner just to satisfy you, and then break the speed limit trying to get to work. You should be fired when you got there.
No, but you see again, John, you talk about compromise, and this is where compromise is. I think two people need to understand in a relationship how they need to please one another and how to keep one another happy. Now, before we go there, why, in a sense, why should it get to that point of when you reach in a relationship, you realize that your partner, serious relationship, your partner don't want to please you, don't want to get into certain exit. Because I think, no, before.
Before.
Yes, because they probably didn't have a communication or a discussion before on these things.
Ready.
Pardon?
And you start before you're ready, you're having problems. If you want to do anything, make sure you start first. Don't continue before you start. You will get problems.
And probably one will have been holding back on.
George, is this. In a relationship, there is no I. There is a we. I can't get past that, George. When I am an I. When I am in a relationship with someone else, it is a we. There is no I. It is a we. Yeah.
And by mentioning that, you helping me make my point. Once it's a we, I think the we have a duty to make we happy.
Of course.
Part of the we duty is to make we happy. Both individuals that make up the we. Both individuals that make up the we. Their duty is to make each other happy. And once you talk about there is no I, in a relationship, I am saying to you, John, I want to be touched a particular way. I want you to conduct yourself at me in a particular way. That is what make me happy. Come on, nothing is wrong with you.
No. Forget that. No, nothing is wrong with me. You are putting yourself in the area of supremacy. I want to be touched, so you have to touch me. Me does not want to touch, and you don't see that. Because you're not happy, I should be touched. So who can touch you then? No wonder that you would go touch with somebody else.
And what about the other partner now thinking, what about the other partner now who don't want to touch the person the way that they want to be touched? Wouldn't hold it, John. Wouldn't they also be equally guilty of doing the same thing that you're now saying that the partner wants to do? Because you are saying now, I don't want to touch you. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how you're thinking. I am not touching you that way.
The two of you will then decide the touching is not the thing. We'll blow on each other then. You must find a compromise. You both. Not one. The two of you must find it.
And that's the thing that bother me. What compromise when two of you get in the bedroom? Two of us in the bedroom, and what you telling me about compromise? There's no compromise here. This is the place where we break all rules.
Oh, I see.
We break all rules. This is our bedroom. The two of us here alone. There's no boundaries here. What are you telling me about compromise here? There is no compromise here.
What you are doing is, what you would be doing is that, and George, when I say you, I don't mean George. Remember, this is the generic.
I know, John. Yeah,
when the rules are broken, you win, and your partner loses.
No, John, there's no here. There is no actually winner and loser here. When we do it, everybody wins.
George, George, if you decided to toss a coin, suppose the two of you decided, all right, this is what you want to do. I don't want to do it. All right, let's toss a coin. Heads are you win. Tails you lose. Tell me if you're not still at square one.
Well, I wouldn't go the way of tossing a coin. I'm sorry, I wouldn't go the way of tossing a coin. I am saying to John, my partner wants me to do something.
That's okay, but to show you the results. Heads are you win, tails you lose. Let's toss. But heads win. So heads are you win. Tail, it comes on tail, but tails you lose. I'm still the boss. It must be what are you want to be touched a certain way. And if you don't touch me that certain way, I gone looking for the touch. What do you think about what it does to the person to touch you there when they don't want to, just to please you? Doesn't it displease them? So you have to find a compromise to both of you. I'm not saying that you have to buckle and say, well, don't touch me. Find something that is common between the two of you. You have to do it. That is your duty. You have a relationship.
I agree with you there. Find something that is common between the two of you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, yes. There will be, listen to me, John. There will be things that will be common between the both of you. And they are arguing, and right, and they, no, come on. Please, come on. Sex is supposed to be excited. It's supposed to be trying out new things all the time, it's supposed to bring in a lot of creativity in it. And listen to me. There are things that's going to be common between the two of you. And there are things that are not going to be common between the two of you. There are things that you're going to like, your partner don't like. And there are things that your partner don't like that you're going to like. Now, if this is a compromise that you're talking about here now, if my partner asks me to do certain things that I don't like, I am going to try and do it until I get accustomed. And listen to me, I know I will get accustomed.
George, sex is something that if I am not doing what I enjoy doing, it is not going to be balanced. The equilibrium is disrupted. I am only pretending, and you are making a fool of yourself. Because they said smart women make slow men think the fast.
I disagree with you. And if you talk to a sex therapist about this, they will also disagree with you. I used to read a lot of Penthouse magazine. Okay? That was my favorite. You read Penthouse magazine. Listen to me, there was a sex therapist.
Don't read those.
Well, I tell you, my Hustler magazine and Penthouse magazine. I after a certain type of activity Hustler magazine introduced, I stopped reading things in Hustler magazine. I could give you the history about that one day. But however, Penthouse magazine, there was a woman called Dr. Judy who was a sex therapist. Used to write in that.
I've read her already, but not in the Penthouse magazine.
Right. She had an article in Penthouse magazine, and she talked about that. She talked about this exact situation here of people not feeling comfortable engaging in certain sexual activities with the partner that the partner will desire. And she gives step by step, what you might call techniques that you could use to start to engage in those sexual activities. So I'm telling you, there is help out here. There is help out here. One could seek how to get the knowledge and the information to start to enjoy these things that you wouldn't normally enjoy, that you never even think about in your sexual relationship. And as I said, the bedroom should not have no boundaries. Right? You seek the information. And I'm saying to you, it should be on both sides. If your partner wants to engage in certain kinds of activities with you, it's your duty to find a way until you get accustomed to it. And likewise, you to your partner. And as I mentioned, Dr. Judy to you just, she used to give techniques how to do these things. And she talks about a particular sexual activity. It was very, very educational. I believe now your partner showing no compromise. You was a young, healthy man or woman, and she's showing no compromise. Why should you stay there and suffer yourself emotionally?
You see, George, as a trained social worker, my information would have come from people in the actual situation with whom I would have been in negotiations. I didn't get mine from any penthouse magazine. You see me? I talk to real living people. And what I'm trying to say to you is this, George. We have people with some clear fetishism. There's some people who would get delight in urinating on you. It may sound weird to you, but people do that. So if you are bringing the rule that you should learn how to do what your partner likes doing, that could be anything. And I am saying that is not fair and reasonable to the other person. Why must you now re-educate yourself because you have got someone who is a fetish?
As I say, this is where I talked about the situation earlier. If you know you like to engage in this kind of what you might call unusual activities.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I was trying to, I know I probably lie, but I was more trying to figure out on the iPhone how to get all the link now. Went into iBlink Radio. I saw CCP, but I want to listen to you all on the iPhone. Or do you have apps or anything?
No, we.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. No.
No, but we don't.
I was live. That's the point.
Oh yeah, you're live. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're live. But
I apologize.
Yeah, we don't have an app, but I think probably what we could do if you get that information, we put it up on the website for you. But thanks. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. John.
Yes.
You know, if you reach in a situation where your partner wants you to engage in certain type of sexual activity that will, you might regard unusual to you, or what you might call even bizarre.
Yeah.
I think you should know that when you're already in a relationship. This is something you should know.
Of course.
Before you get into a serious relationship.
That's why I said a little earlier on, you should stop
Right. So the questions of this bizarre or what you might call outrageous kinds of sexual activity popping up in a relationship, only each one will have to blame themselves. If you now know your partner like that, I think you didn't have a good rapport, you didn't have a good communication, and probably you would have get into a serious relationship before knowing your partner.
But don't you remember my saying? But you remember my saying the problem is that you are continuing before you started.
Right.
What do you think I meant by that? You are continuing before you started. You should have done all that
before your partner first.
Before the highwind comes.
That's right. So I don't see that question really coming up in somebody who has a serious relationship.
Yeah,
you know, I
agree with you there.
I am not talking here about getting into a sexual activity with something that out of the ordinary, or an extreme or bizarre kind of sexual activity. This situation, I mean, if you find yourself in this situation, again, you will have to handle it the way you best see it fit. But I think you should know before you get into a serious relationship with your partner.
George, you and I are in parallel. We are in parallel. We're no longer meeting each other at right angles because I richly agree with you. You see, and that would not come in because that would have been straightened out before you start to move the journey together.
But you went off into an area that I really did not. I am not talking about that kind of bizarre and outrageous kind of sexual activity.
George,
I am talking normal.
George, I don't know what will take place in the bedroom when two people get together and they get really fired up. Anything can happen. So I am not.
But that's how it's supposed to be.
So what I am saying here is this, that if your partner does not like the window being open, and you are saying, well, it pleases me, and they must sacrifice that for you, they are robbing themselves of the intense attention, and you cannot be satisfied. Because if an organ is not well tuned, you will not get the perfect tone from those keys. It must be well tuned.
John, at the end of the day,
it makes a lot of difference.
John, at the end of the day, you are not getting that sexual satisfaction, that sexual fulfillment from your partner. It's going to affect the relationship in all areas.
That's providing that you don't understand the we. As long as...
Yes, right.
Okay.
Okay, then, well... Yes. So, John, we'll go for breaking our word, but let me just say this before I go. You talk about understanding the we. The we, of course, the we should... It's two people make up the we. In a relationship, it's two people make up the we. And the we now is to be happy together.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we need to take a break here and then come back and discuss this a little more. And then when we come back, we'll give you the phone numbers and tell you how we could get in on the program.
Okay, fine business. Okay, are there friends out there in the listening audience? If you want to contact us, if you are calling us from the United States, then your number to contact us would be 718-879-560, extension 303. Let me say that again. From the United States, 718-879-5560, extension 303. If you're a little further north in Canada, your contact number would be 416-800-0392, extension 947. Let me say that again. From Canada, 416-800-0392, extension 947. If you're across the Atlantic into London, you will contact us at 44203-318-2614. To repeat, from London, 44203-318-2614. Thank you very kindly. And MSN, CCV at ccvradio.com. That's MSN, CCV at ccvradio.com. Facebook, CCV Radio. CCV Radio, that's Facebook. And on Skype, CCV Radio. CCV Radio. Thank you very much, and we look forward to your calls.